Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for October 9th, 2025. We do keep a series of maps available at tpatw.com. We'll start this briefing with a look at the surface map, and we can see just the remnants of that active cool front that had just passed off the east coast, hanging over northern Florida. There is another cool front trying to move into the northern plains from Minneapolis to Great Falls. And then, of course, a lot of unsettled weather down here in the southwest, all based on that Hurricane Priscilla trying to push moisture into the Four Corners. Looking at our vitality index, this is a measure of all of the weather elements that can impact human health. We can see we do have a large focus of activity here in Nevada in the Four Corners, another area of activity up in the northern plains, and then finally a lot of the issues going along the east coast. Looking at pressure change, which is one of those elements that impacts many people's health, we have rising pressure in the northwest from Washington across to Montana. And then we have another significant area of rising pressure, post-frontal rising pressure, falling temperatures, falling dew points, all the way from Georgia clear on up through New York State and up and across New England. We do have that one area of falling pressure in Minneapolis and picking up parts of northern Wisconsin and the Michigan Upper Peninsula. Temperature change can also get to be interesting at this time of the year, and you can see we do have that falling temperatures here in the Four Corners area, again with that rising moisture. We do have an area of significant warming running from the Texas Panhandle across Kansas, Nebraska, into Iowa, and up into Minnesota. We have an area of falling temperatures right along the east coast, and again this is that post-frontal arena, and there's probably be some frost freezing going on here in the northern reaches. Dew point temperatures also very interesting, and you can see that influx of moisture in the desert southwest, another rather strong influx of moisture up here in the northern plains, and significant drying, post-frontal drying after the front. Looking at vapor pressure, which is a little bit more fine-lined, it still does show that same area of rising moisture here across the southwest and up into the plains, and the area of falling vapor pressure extending all the way along the coast, but really significantly back here in Louisiana and Arkansas. Finally, looking at the availability of oxygen in the atmosphere, we'll look at the risk of migraine, and it extends from central California, especially into northern California and southwestern Oregon. We pick up another area of migraine risk here in Montana and the westernmost stretches of North and South Dakota. Large area of migraine risk here in Arizona, probably touching a bit up into southern Utah and a little bit about the Four Corners. Another area of significant migraine risk here in the Arkansas, Louisiana, East Texas arena, and then all the way from northern Florida across the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, southern Indiana, Ohio, and then the entire East Coast from South Carolina all the way up through Pennsylvania, West Virginia, etc., New York, and up into Maine. We do have that area of asthma and arthritis risk stretching up the plains from the Texas Panhandle across Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, picking up Iowa, switching off through Minnesota, and rather significant there in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, especially the upper reaches, and especially the Michigan Upper Peninsula. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. Comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.